Hey, what's up, Kings? So today I'm gonna kind of round out. This will be like third video I've done for this woman, fashionably divorced. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of move on to other content. I don't want to keep trolling her continuously. So this is kind of another area that's kind of she gets a little bit weird about how she kind of tries to normalize this idea of 50-50 in relationships. So here we go.
To talk about going 50-50 in the dating phase. So, I mean, when you guys are not sharing living expenses, you're dating, you live in your place, he lives in his, but you spend a lot of time together. You go on dates, spend weekends together, activities, things like that. Ladies, I will make it really easy for you. No. Just no.
All right, she's going to make some decisions for all you ladies. Now, don't do it. Just don't do it. Let him pay. This is a endless argument back and forth, and there's a lot of pushback now from women, especially modern women, that men are not paying for dates anymore, or they're we're circumventing the whole problem. So when I was still dating American women, I rarely would pay for a meal. Like, I would pay for the date, but the date would almost exclusively be coffee dates or maybe a drink, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, whatever, but like one drink. And sometimes I'd even show up a few minutes late for my date so that she'd already start her own tab. So there were ways to kind of work around that, because there's not really a lot of times. Actually, I think in every case, I never really mentioned like who's paying for it or whatever. I thought it was just a little bit lacked a little class to do that. Although maybe looking back on it, maybe that's not the worst thing to do. If you approach it diplomatically or whatever. But in order to get around the whole problem of like paying for a huge meal or whatever, I just would never take her to eat. So it would always be coffee date or a walk or maybe an alcoholic beverage.
When you're spending a lot of time together, I do think it is gracious and courteous to pick up the bill some of the time or show him you care with things like a home cooked meal, something like that. Just be a mensch, right?
Okay, so here, so even when you're in a relationship with a man, just pick up the bill some of the time. So I'm guessing she's, just for argument's sake, it would be like a 75-25 split. A quarter of the time, she's going to pick up the tab wherever you're going. Now, think about this for a second. What is she, it goes back to the expression, what is she bringing to the table, right? And we don't have we don't have to ask it exactly that way, but what is she bringing into the relationship? Or if this is just a casual kind of thing or something more long term, what is she bringing to that? If she's deficient in like paying for half because she's earning as much or more in some cases, single women under 30 generally earn more than single men under 30. So the tables have turned from a salary perspective. So if they're bringing less to the financial table, so to speak, well, what are they bringing in the rest of, sort of to make up for that? And she says, cook him a meal once in a while. Okay, I get it that like if you do some domestic labor or some favors to kind of even the playing field, but you're not doing anywhere near enough domestic labor to make up for that extra 25% or whatever you're deficient in to become like a 50-50 partnership. So it goes back to the saying, modern women don't get traditional treatment. Now, when you go meet foreign women, when you go overseas and you court women there, yeah, you can't. You have to get that 50-50 mindset out of the picture. First of all, things are cheaper where you're going most of the time in Latin America or Southeast Asia or wherever. Things are cheaper. Your dollar is going a lot further anyway. So to pay for a dinner that is $10 or $15 a plate is no big deal, especially since it costs so much for you to travel there in the first place. But when it comes to modern women, it's a hypocrisy to expect that. I mean, these women are louder, more obnoxious. They're less compliant, so to speak, less submissive. I know it's a loaded term, but they're less submissive. Let's go with that. And what what qualities are they bringing to make the relationship more towards a 100-0, or away from a 50-50? Well, the answer is none. There's no answer. But what's happening is these women are just pushing back, just for the sake of pushing back. They're yeah. So, and then this woman is trying to normalize this whole concept. Trying to spread the message. Tell your friends. Never go 50-50. Never, never, never. Oh, because probably my guess is that she's encountering this problem as she's getting older and her value is decreasing, and she's unable to acquire men. Well, first of all, we've already established she's a cougar. She's going for younger men. I'm willing to bet that these younger men, aren't even doing 50-50. She's probably having to put even more than 50%, because as a younger man, you're already like doing her a favor by going out with her. So like she's not even getting away with even 50-50 most likely. But anyway, she's trying to say it like for the rare times that she dates a guy, like age appropriate for her. Um, and I'm sure that happens once in a while for her. But she's probably pissed that they're kind of enforcing a 50-50 policy.
If you are headed to his place and he's, making dinner, he got dinner, ask if you can pick something up along the way and pay for it. And if he wants to pay you back, don't let him. Things like that. And if you're picking something up, let me be clear. If you pick up a bill, you pick up the whole bill, right? None of that Venmo shit. Venmo is for roommates and coworkers.
I don't. That's weird. I don't get that. I mean, Venmo is just Zelle and Venmo. They're just convenient ways to pay people. So I really don't get where she's coming from. I guess she's trying to say that pick up the whole tab and everything. I don't know. I don't know where that came in.
Now, if he is asking you to go on vacation with him, well, he's asking you to go on vacation with him because you must find pleasure in your company, right? He pays. And if he is asking you to pay, insisting you should pay, then ma'am, you go right ahead and you pay and you go on that vacation without him. And then you take your fine, sexy self to the hotel bar and you let someone else buy you dinner. Maybe.
All right. She's creating this whole narrative in her head that, like, if the guy doesn't pay 100%, I get it. The guy invited her in this hypothetical situation, but the polite thing to do is to like at least have a discussion about like how we're going to distribute the payment and everything. Um, Again, modern women don't get traditional treatment. That's just I don't make the rules. That's just the way it is. That's the way guys are thinking now. And no matter how many YouTube and TikTok videos you make, trying to normalize this idea that push back, always make them pay, always make them pay. It just ain't gonna happen. Like the movement has started, and you can't bring it back to the way it used to be because you are, we're progressing as a society, as a Western society, we're progressing, and it's too freaking bad for you. So anyway, 100-0. She's trying to make it like the guy's going to pay purely. Now maybe he pays more of it because he did invite her, but maybe it's a 60-40 or a 75-25 or something. But this idea that she wants to be like completely absolute about it, and if you aren't absolute about it and you kind of expect a 50-50, which is still fair, then you go to a hotel bar and then you get a guy to pay you to get some simp to pay dinner for dinner for you. I don't know. She's like salty as fuck with that. I mean, that was just kind of, it just came out of left field, but maybe it's to be expected because she's pissed that guys aren't doing it anymore. And, she wants, yeah. The idea is women, generally speaking, when they go on social media, they always talk about let's normalize this, let's normalize that. Basically, they're trying to use the female hive mind and use their influence on social media to, if they can just convince one woman to never accept 50-50, then I've done my job, I've done my duty, and then they'll spread the message to their friends, and then they'll just. But men now don't even give a shit. They just walked away from dating, and they're, some of them have, and some of them haven't. But the movement, the inertia is away from 100-0 and away from provider energy. This whole sprinkle thing with Shira and other movements are just like the last breaths of a dying person, and it's just it's ending, and it's not going back to the way it was unless generationally women return to the way they used to be. Traditional women get traditional treatment, but until they become traditional again, they're not going to get traditional treatment. So anyway, it was just a funny take on her, like her thing, and you consider the person in general a non-monogamous, highly hypergamous, hinge addicted cougar. Is anyone really going to go 100-0 for her? Is anyone really going to have provider energy for a woman like this? I get it. She's slightly above average for her age. But, I mean, in context, it's just, no, you're not going to get it. So, anyway, we had a lot of fun with this woman. I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to start talking about some other content creators that have different perspectives on their hypergamy.